Today, an innocent salesman of a solar company was viciously attacked by a homeowner in Sharon, Massachusetts. Here's the video now.
Hello, sir. Can I talk to you today about solar energy?
No.
Poor kid. But the question is, should the homeowner have listened and actually considered investing in solar energy, or is it all just a hoax? Well, today, we have two sides debating on the topic. Let's go to them now.
Hello, my name is Joshua Sharma, and I'm joining you live from the White House. Today, I'll be campaigning on a basis for solar energy as I believe that it has the capability to truly change the world as we know it. The world currently faces a grim and desolate future. The use of fossil fuels in order to obtain energy at a cheap cost has led us to emitting devastating amounts of harmful gases into the atmosphere. Where we stand now at the crossroad of fate, before us is a choice between a future of a ruined planet or a future of sustainable human progression. I present to you all a solution: solar energy. The sun is a massive provider of energy that reaches us every day in vast amounts, energy that life has already learned to live off of, and energy that is integral to our ecosystem and to the natural world. This energy is sustainable and will be around for billions of years to come. Currently, an absurd 78% of the United States energy comes from fossil fuels, with the burning of these fossil fuels contributing to 3/4 of our carbon emissions. Only 12.5% of the US's energy comes from renewables. By adopting solar, we can convert to an entirely clean and renewable energy source. Harvesting sunlight and turning it into usable energy results in no carbon emissions and is one of the most promising avenues for energy that the world has to offer. Voting for solar is voting for our future. And by supporting our efforts to increase funding and budgets for solar developments here in the United States, we can mitigate some of the devastating effects that fossil fuels have had on our nation and on our planet. American solar already offsets almost 70 million metric tons of carbon dioxide every year. Since 2014, the average cost of solar PV panels has dropped nearly 70%. It's becoming more cost-effective than ever before and is a booming industry in the United States. When considering these prospects, the choice for solar is an obvious one. A vote for solar is a vote towards saving the future of the United States. Thank you all, and God bless America.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rahul, coming in from Area 51. Many of you in this room would agree that the use of renewable energy, most prominently solar power, is a flawless method of solving world climate change and has minimal negative impacts on our world. But I would like to present you with a few of the many reasons why this is a flawed assumption. I'd like to start off by mentioning that although solar power claims to be an efficient source of renewable energy, it has many problems that make it a liability for homeowners and a waste of an investment for companies. First of all, much of the world's economy runs on the mining and market for fossil fuels, and by threatening this industry, we'd be threatening the stability of the current world economy. This includes the jobs of many who are working in supplying the raw materials of coal and fossil fuels. As of 2012, there were around 90,000 coal mining jobs, but this has dropped to around 46,600 jobs as of 2020. This number is bound to decrease. It doesn't even include oil extraction workers or other jobs related to this field. So by eliminating these jobs through the promotion of solar power, you're leaving millions of people unemployed. Additionally, the claim that solar is an efficient method of diminishing carbon emissions is a false connotation. Through evaluating a life cycle assessment of solar energy, it's evident that although solar provides a reduced carbon footprint, the carbon footprint of operating solar power detracts from its positive impacts. The carbon cost of manufacturing the panels themselves is equivalent to 50 grams of carbon dioxide output per kilowatt hour of electricity generated. Depending on the type of solar panels manufactured, monocrystalline or polycrystalline, large sums of electricity are required, and this electricity is produced on the burning of fossil fuels. So for whatever energy is being produced by solar panels, a significant amount of carbon dioxide is produced as well. If we take this into consideration, it will take around 4 years on average for solar panels to become carbon neutral. And this does not take into account the indirect sources of carbon dioxide emitted because of solar power operations. Another issue that needs to be addressed is the vast amount of space solar farms occupy. Solar farms are large areas covered by solar panels in order to produce sufficient energy outputs. As of recent, these solar farms have been expanded into the desert, but the assumption is that more light will be received by the panels. However, although more light will in fact be exposed to the solar panels, heat energy will be given off in return. Therefore, rising temperatures in our global climate, which is exactly what solar energy is trying to combat. Essentially, from the information I've just presented, it can only be concluded that for whatever goals solar energy is trying to achieve is being directly and oppositely conflicted by the problem itself. More specifically, solar energy is contributing to the problem just as much as it's trying to solve it, which renders it completely useless for owners. And with that, I rest my case. God bless the American economy. Those are both some very interesting views. But now, let's debate it out and see who wins. Is solar energy really a hoax, or can it actually help us transition into a greener Earth? Let's see that right now. How lovely it is for you to join me today on this fine evening, Mr. Sharma.
Likewise, Mr. Gendron.
Nice, nice. Okay, so today we'll be battling it out in a debate to see whose opinion reigns on top. So let's get right into it. So what are your opinions on the fact that solar panels have their own carbon footprint and release carbon emissions?
Well, in actuality, solar panels reach carbon neutrality in just 4 years, meaning that since they have a 30-year lifespan, they have over 20 years of zero carbon emission production for electricity at the very least, meaning that they are a much, much better option than any fossil fuels currently in the market.
Wow, okay, well, I didn't even think of that. But what about space? Because large solar farms of solar panels occupy large spaces on fields and even deserts, and this takes up a lot of unnecessary space that could be used for many other things, maybe like agriculture or setting up farming systems.
This is true, but the land use required to power the average US household's electricity for US solar energy is actually very similar to nuclear power and hydropower, meaning that solar is very competitive with other renewable energy sources. Plus, it can also be installed on top of buildings and in very, very energy efficient and space efficient arrays that are very, overall, just much better than any fossil fuel alternative we currently possess.
Wow, okay, well then what about the American economy, the most important factor?
Well, believe it or not, there are more than 260,000 people working in the solar industry today. This is more than all of the fossil fuel industries combined, meaning that solar has a much bigger impact on employment in the United States. Thus, overall, solar is a much more valuable asset to the American economy, and in the following years, it'll grow to be much more potent and much more powerful.
Well, the pricing must be very expensive, isn't it?
Unfortunately not. While the startup cost is a bit steep, being $15,000, it can very well offset roughly $70,000 worth of electricity bills in the long run, making it a very good financial investment for any household.
Well, needless to say, I don't think I'm convinced, okay? So I think it's up to the people to vote on it now. So
Just admit that you hate the planet already.
okay, well, I mean, if you're voting American economy, vote Rahul.
And if you're voting for the planet, vote Josh.
All right. I'll see you guys later.